I can't say that word.
I can't say
Queer.
queer. I can't say. Can you
It's
say it?
queer.
Queer.
See,
Queer.
I've
No,
never,
you're queer.
I've never had to use that
Queer.
word. So I'm
Queer.
queer.
और लोग बोलते हैं LGBT rights के बारे में क्यों नहीं हो रहा है इंडिया में कुछ
I swear, I think people are struggling.
नहीं, लेकिन क्यों? Queer. कुछ और पकड़ रहे, कुछ और पकड़ते हैं.
So queer.
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 तो मैं तो
Queer.
हिंदी में
Queer.
करता हूँ, आपको क्यों नहीं आ रहा है?
Hey, I tell you what, just go for LGBTQ. That's the best.
LGBT queer.
LGBTQ. So basically, yeah. So Kashish, the LGBTQ Film Festival, there was an event that Rohini was hosting. The event went well up until a certain point, and then there were technical issues, which Rohini, as a good host, managed to
Of course.
handle. And everyone was all praised for how you handled
Yes.
the issue. And then this gentleman wrote an article, and this is the last part of the article. And I'm just going to read it as it is. She's an extremely talented host and a friend of the community. She's special. You'd imagine that anyone in a similarly stressful situation would have a million thoughts and emotions running through them. She has seen it all. What's more challenging than the loss of a loved one? In Jan 2017, Rohini lost her partner. Anyone who has seen them together would vouch for the bond that they share with each other. I gather that he was a very supportive and encouraging partner, and she strives every moment to live up to the image he had of her. She embraced all her love for him and transformed it into something unimaginable, resilience. And every bit of it showed in her presence of mind and empathy for the cause. We tend to underestimate actors and radio jockeys and other performers who entertain us. They hide their personal selves behind the laughter and jibes and the friendly vibes. Some take a break, some break records instead. Rohini brought immense pride to herself and her partner, who is always with her through life and after it. If there was an Oscar for anchoring, it should park itself on Rohini's shelf for Kashish and more.
That's a very kind Harish Iyer.
Harish Iyer wrote this. Now,
So he published it.
it was published.
Yes.
Okay. So what did you feel about it?
No, he didn't. He didn't tell me that he was going to publish it. So and yeah. So and also I know him personally. So when I first read the article, I didn't know how to react. Also because ये बहुत unique situation है. I mean, what is in the article is what has happened recently.
Yeah.
So it's all too new for me. Like even dealing with the loss has been quite new, and nobody teaches you how to deal with situations.
Yeah.
Even more so, how to publicly deal with situations when it's out there in an article. So my first instinct was to not share this article, and rightfully so. I had to speak to other artists, who have similar, like a radio jockey, and then after having a bit of a chat with them, I understood one thing, that it's going to be part of the narrative. It doesn't have to be what defines the narrative, but yes, from now on, it's going to be part of the narrative. This loss is going to be part of the story. It was very ajeeb to deal with it. But the only thing that I took back from this was that, I would have done that save at the event even
Either
without
way,
it.
exactly. So that was the thing that
Yeah.
caught my eye as well. I mean, as I know Rohini, so this is this tragic loss is incidental. She would have still done a great job,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
Yeah, but it gets
because
linked now,
it gets kind of
you know,
linked, and
so-
also the fact that you have a job that's in the public space.
Yes.
Yeah. Why your personal life is a part of the narrative?
It does. It does. So what happens is when this happened in Jan, you also took some time off from
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
We were all there. You had to handle the situation. When you're in a public space, the audience is invested in you. This will happen with us as well. Not just for your work. They invested in you as a person.
Okay. Yeah.
So Rohini is somebody who's been around in the radio scene for the longest time.
Yeah.
So her listeners today were listening to her when they were in college. So
Yeah.
that investment.
On a retro station पे आ
पूरा
गए.
retro station पे, हाँ, so full circle, So,
Yeah.
so on that level, they are, they will,
Yeah.
people will know, okay, so and so thing has happened, and now you are in a situation. This happened in your 30s.
Yeah.
A loss like this is something you don't
Yeah.
expect to have to deal
Yeah. It
with
seems unfair.
in your 30s.
Yeah.
How do you come to terms with something like this?
I mean, it's truly like we say so many things, right? And I'm saying just about feminism. Like, I think living through this has been a test of everything that I have said in my life. Truly, it was a very hard phase. I mean, there were things that I never thought I'd do again. Like, I thought I would never take a flight again. I would never travel again. I would never talk again. I would never, do these things because, I mean, I spent a very significant time of my life with my partner and it was 7 years that we were together. And like today, Game of Thrones, like today is the worst day of my life. It's even worse than that day because, I don't know who to watch it with. I mean, I watched all of it with him. So in many ways, it manifests and it hits you in different ways. But yes, because there is a certain public side to the job, it challenges you to be the best version of yourself. Because with our jobs, we're also tested. Like if I had to go back to work behind a counter at a bank, honestly फर्क तो पड़ता ही है, कोई भी लॉस से हमेशा किसी को फर्क पड़ता है, but it's a different sort of फर्क because here you have to go on air in the morning every day and it's the start of your day and if like I remember when we were talking about this, he said, will you tell your audience that this has happened to you? And I said no. मैंने 2 हफ्ते की break ली and after that period I was back on air and to me it shouldn't affect or become part of the job. That can't be, if people talk about it on the side, yeah, sure. But it can't be your main gig, okay? It can't be the reason why people listen to you either. It can't be the sympathy that brings people to you, okay? But yes, you have to acknowledge it. At that time, I just felt like I was living everything that I really believed in because I think a great indicator at that point was I lost my dad in 2013.
Yeah.
And I mean, you never imagine these things, I mean, all of us are so young and we're having so much fun that kabhi ye speed breaker lagta nahi hai. Until, touch wood, inshallah, everybody lives a long life and happy. But my mom actually, I think, is the reason why I have been able to do what I'm doing right now is because I have seen her not just pick herself up and be all of that rah-rah woman. I just think that she was always sure of who she was outside of her partner.
Yeah.
And I think that's what came through. Like not instantly, like to me, because it takes a while to understand, all of it. I still don't think I've understood it. I still think we're too soon. It's too soon to talk about it. But then again, because Daniel is somebody who went through this phase with me, I can talk to you about it. Because this time मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था यार कि reaction people expected to be very, very like I remember having no reaction was that reaction. Like I didn't understand it.
Yeah, that was something that when I saw you for the first time after we got the news was that, you have these expectations when somebody is dealing with grief. Because first of all, let's be honest, we are not conditioned to deal with someone else's loss.
At all. I mean, really, I'm telling you, we can talk. I can actually talk about how inequipped we are to deal with people's, like तुमने कहा outrage on people's behalf, grief on people's behalf. I will tell you today. Okay, but before that, my point that I'm completing is that, like I understood that to be anything, first you have to understand who you are outside of your partner. And this is for all the women listening in, that, we tend to make our lives about other people. It's great. Only women can do that. We're a nurturing race. But in the bigger scheme of things, we've always got to pull back and say, who am I? What do I love to do? And do I do it every day? Which I'm not saying go back to your job. Like, yes, my job saved me because people say, oh, it must be so challenging to go on air and, be smiling. It's the opposite for me. Going on air is actually not me. Like there are two different sides. There's a performer inside of you which takes precedent, that goes up ahead. This is the other side, which is, and also I think grief is a very private emotion that you cannot feel with people around you. Like, ऐसे लोग हों तो तुम्हें ज़्यादा रोना नहीं आएगा.
Exactly.
So that I think is one side of it. And the other side of it is, of course, how one splendid also this period has been. It's an exercise in human behavior, really. Like some really funny, incidents as well through this. So.
लोग आपके grief को भी question कर रहे हैं.
I think people,
because I think when something like this happens, when there's a tragedy like this, there's like sort of like this inborn necessity to give advice. And you will notice this also when people, think about it, whenever people say that they're not feeling well, your only response to that is you will prescribe some sort of medication. You can't. You have to play doctor for some reason. So it's the same with grief. When you're dealing with the passing of someone, especially condolence visits are the worst things to deal with because there's so much of awkwardness as it is, and then people are so ill-equipped. To the point that even with your case, when we were at your house, we were just making sure people were not talking nonsense. So there were people in the house, managing the people who are coming in, people who, okay, we know that this person is going to say something stupid, so usko baar leke ja. We actually did all of that because even before you came back from Singapore, when we were there with mom, that's what was happening. and it was funny. And then
I think that we just lack understanding. Like मेरे घर पे अभी it's like the self-help section of Kinokuniya or like crossword, yeah. Every week I receive a book either anonymously or from of my good friends who will give me a book about option B. क्या करे अगर ऑप्शन ए फेल हो जाए. तो ऐसे करके बहुत सारे बुक्स हैं. तो मुझे बड़ा मजाक लगता है. तो अब तो जोक हो गया बिकॉज आफ्टर अ पॉइंट लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल सेड कि तुम्हें तो काउंसलिंग करना ही चाहिए क्योंकि ये इतना अजीब है सिचुएशन. तो मैं गई ग्रीफ थेरेपी के लिए और वो इट डिडंट वर्क आउट यार बिकॉज द काउंसलर जस्ट वांटेड टू मीट ऑन फ्राइडेज एट 4 और मैंने कहा यार नहीं ये वीकेंड है यार. नहीं तो समझ रहे हो.
सही है.
देखो यार it is an influx and I think that people also expect you to do a certain thing.
Yes.
And they want you to मतलब ऐसे नहीं होता. लाइफ चलती है.
like grief is a Monday Tuesday
Yeah.
अच्छा.
emotion.
हाँ, मतलब